Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. I am Farlie Solomons and today we are just going to create an iconic look. And today's palette is Too Faced Pretty Rich and the first shade is Oh That's Rich. From this palette goes on the crease line. I'm simply going to draw a line, just following the natural crease line. If you have noticed, I have used a small thin brush just to create a line. And then I'm just going to diffuse this line. Make sure you don't blur it up too much. You just need to diffuse it a little bit on the crease line. Just like that. And then I have picked up a concealer and I'm just going over the eyelid, leaving the crease line. I have used a flat brush to just apply the concealer on the entire eyelid. You may skip this part if you are not too confident to use a concealer, but it just brings out the whole the whole look, I would say, and the intensity of the eyeshadow. But it's up to you. Make sure you just go up to the crease line and don't go over the crease line, because you just need to keep that line in mind. And then I'm going back with Oh That's Rich shade and simply going over the line and drawing the line and making it more darker, I would say, and just diffusing it. And as you can see, I'm just pushing it up towards the eyebrows also. The starting point of the eyebrows. I'm just pushing it up so that the socket, the depth of the eyes look very nice and attractive. And then going with the shade is Cashmere. This goes on the entire eyelid. Now you could use something that's shimmery, or you could use another eyeshadow depending what you like. But for today's look, I have just picked up a very subtle nude shade, and this goes on the entire eyelid. Just going back with the eyeshadow and covering the corners. As you can see, I have missed out on few places. And going back with Oh That's Rich, I'm simply going to draw a wing with this, and it need not be very neat, I would say. It's just I'm going to smoke it up a little bit, but I'm just going over the natural lash line, pulling it out from the outer corner. The thickness depends upon you, but I have slightly thickened the outer corner, as you can see. And the inner corner is more on the thinner side. Pulling it out and then creating that wing. And then, like I said, I'm just going to smoke it out a little bit, in the sense I'm just going to diffuse the edges a little bit. It's not going to be sharp, as I said, but just like that. This is like my current favorite. Instead of using an eyeliner, I like to use eyeshadows. And then going with Coal Under Pressure from this palette, and I'm simply going again on the natural lash line. Just like that, and more on the outer corner and less towards the inner corner. I have used a thin brush for this. And then I have used again Oh That's Rich, and this goes on the lower lash line. If you wanted more smoky and more dark, you could just increase the intensity of the shade, in the sense you could apply 2 to 3 times of this shade. And if you have seen my Instagram account, I have put up 2 pictures. One is a very subtle one and one is a very dramatic one. And then I have gone back with Coal Under Pressure, and I am simply going over the lash line with this. It's basically a shimmery black shade, and simply diffuse it with a fluffy brush. Make sure the brushes are not too thick, I would say, otherwise it's just going to be too much under the eye. But it should be a very small sized brush. And as you can see, I'm just diffusing it under the eye. And then I have used Stila. This is like a glitter and metallic glitter. Basically it's more on the liquid side, and this goes simply under the lash line like a streak, so that it looks a little bit shimmery, because I have not used anything on the eyelid, so I just wanted the under the lower lash line to look a little bit more attractive. And then I have gone with don't carrot all on the inner corner near the tear duct area of the eye. And for the lashes, I have used Farlie Solomons in the style Go Getter. And if you like this style, you could just simply go to my website and pick up this style for yourself. It's a very decent style and it goes with any kind of eye shape, I would say. Super light and it's easy to put on. For the mascara, I have used YSL. For the concealer, I have used YSL again. And this is actually called YSL Touche Eclat Radiant Touch. And it's a very medium coverage, I would say, concealer, but it's a very light concealer. And for the bronzer, I have used Fenty Beauty Beijing Gyal Sunstalker. This is the shade, and this goes on all the necessary areas where I think my face needs this bronzer. I need to sculpt my face really well with this bronzer because I love that bronzy effect on my face. And as you can see, I'm simply drawing a line with this bronzer and creating that chiseled kind of a look. And simply using a brush, a fluffy brush, I would say, a face brush, to diffuse that line. Make sure you diffuse the line, otherwise it's just going to look so much on the face. So you just need to diffuse it. Just go down towards the chin so that you get that chiseled kind of an effect. I normally like to create this when I create something dramatic or something really iconic, or it all depends when I use this technique. Well, for this look, I felt that this technique goes really well. So as you can see, I'm just diffusing the line as much as I can. Make sure you don't go all over the face, like all over the bottom of your face. Just go along the line. And then I'm simply using the concealer underneath, just below the line that I drew, and the line that I created. Just below that, you just need to place the concealer and just diffuse it. Just in the mid space. I've used a damp beauty blender to diffuse it. You also can use a brush, but I find it quite easy to do it with a beauty blender. And I'm going back again and just diffusing the line. And then I'm just simply going to place some loose powder over the concealer, because I just don't want it to be cakey and I don't want it to be very prominent. I just don't want it to be seen on the face. As well as I want that chiseled look. So the loose powder also settles down the concealer a little bit and just removing off anything that's excess on the face. And then going back with the jawline, and then I'm going with the jawline, going back with the bronzer. I'm simply going to go with the same bronzer on the jawline, just like that. And then a little bit on the on my nose. I'm simply going to contour my nose a little bit. I like using a bronzer more as compared to a contouring cream. I don't know why, but I think I'm more comfortable. I feel more confident, and I feel more comfortable applying a bronzer as compared to a contouring cream, I would say. And then this goes on my forehead too. And I'm just going to diffuse the lines that I have created on my nose, just so that my nose looks a little bit small and more in shape. And then for the blush, I have used Dr. Irina Eris in the shade, it's just called Face Oval Designer, and it has 3 shades inside. It has 3 shades inside, and this actually goes really well with this look because I just didn't want the cheeks to look too loud for this look. I wanted it to be subtle, and I felt that this blush really goes well because it's a very, very subtle blush. Sometimes it's hardly noticeable, I would say, but yes, for this look it just goes well. And then for the highlighter, I have used Too Faced Candlelight Glow in the shade Warm Glow. I love this, and I have used this highlighter, I guess, for so many looks, and just goes. It's up to you if you want it to be subtle or if you want it to be loud. You could just do anything with this highlighter, I would say. Like for instance, now I have applied it once, but I needed to look a little bit more on my face, I would say. I don't want it to disco, but I just want it to be a little bit more seen on my face. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more of the highlighter. And for the lips, I have used NARS. Both the shades are NARS. The first one is Dolce Vita, and the second shade is called, it's Air Matte. It's NARS Air Matte Shag. It's called Shag. And what I'm doing is I have first applied Dolce Vita on the entire lip, and then just right there in the middle I have used the shade Shag, so just to pop my lips a little bit, I would say. And this is the final look. I hope you guys liked this look. You could follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Farlie Solomons, and my Facebook is Farlie Solomons Makeup Artist. I shall see you in my next video. Bye bye. Mwah.